Talkin' Audio.
Bless you, boys!
But now we're bound for old St. John's where all the girls are dancing either way. And me naughty boys, we're all bound away.
And away we go on the Talkin' Audio podcast. Looking ahead to the Battle of Ontario. I had a little fun putting that together, but in hindsight, while I love the heave away, there is something a lot more epic about the trumpeter's cry, which everybody I know calls the fucking danger flutes.
Yes.
Trumpeter's cry has a much more regal. We will link in the show notes to somebody who just within the last, a real pro would have had their name handy here, but Twitter handles and YouTube channel names and whatever else aren't always simple terms or numbers and letters mixed in. Who just recently, within the last couple of weeks, did it like a movie trailer, a slow build into the danger flutes or the trumpeter's cry to make it a little more modern. I obviously had to shorten it up a little bit, but we are here to look forward to the Battle of Ontario, Leafs and Sens 2025. Your wildcard winners versus your division winners. We'll get into everything that's at play here. First, we have a pint. What's going on, man? What are you drinking?
Come get your duds in order, because we're bound to cross the water.
Your duds.
Yeah. You're
Donk.
a fucking dud.
What a dud.
I'm sticking with Dominion City. And because this is a look ahead, I am going with the Sun split.
Okay.
Because of it's like
sunny days.
100%, man. It feels good. It looks good. It's sunny. It's good times ahead, man. It's a sailor's delight.
Well, see, I'm concerned because I also feel like there's good times ahead, and one of us
is going to be wrong.
It's going to be wrong.
Yes, 100%. And it ain't going to be me.
Okay. Okay. I am over here with something from Whippersnapper, who we've been referencing a little bit here lately.
I went to go see them.
Yeah? How'd it go?
Closed on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Closed on Tuesday.
It's like the Carlsberg thing. Man. Remember the Carlsberg thing? That was upsetting.
And now I'd been to Carlsberg
Yeah,
before,
well, some of us hadn't.
So I drank the free pints at Carlsberg. Oh, they were delicious, man.
Yeah, when we were in Copenhagen there 130 or 140,000 years ago, we went in there on a Monday. Rob had been, most of the guys I was over there with had been, we'll go Monday. And Monday you get there. We're closed, you dumb fucks.
Hey, touristos.
Yeah.
Everything is closed on a Monday, and you're like.
Everybody else kind of gave a little shrug, and I was.
Oh, no, I was disappointed.
Yeah.
But when the gate was locked,
Yeah.
You're like, what? Two hands on the gate, and you're like, come on.
Please. Yeah, we had been in southern Sweden, took the, whatever the hell they call it, that half bridge, half tunnel thing across to Copenhagen, went to the bus terminal attached, and they drop you off like out in the middle of nowhere, and you walk up this hill, which was like the final indignity. We're going to make you exercise before you get no beer.
Yeah.
And
someone... You didn't know that, though.
No,
there were beers on the horizon.
Oh, yeah, no, there was lusty high stepping and fist pumping, and somebody took a picture of a few of us in front of the closed on Monday sign, and my mom said that's the saddest picture I've ever seen. It's just these grown men standing in front of a closed sign.
The brewery is closed, and you're like, fuck.
I came all the way from... Yeah. Now, in this very theme, this Battle of Ontario, Leafs Sens, on the Sunday, we had walked through Malmo, and they have this, a very pedestrian-friendly kind of walking square. And we went down to the grocery store, grabbed some beers, and we got talking to one of the locals. And I was wearing I'm in Sweden. I'm wearing my Matt Sundin jersey. And
they loved their match.
They loved it over there. And
oh, man.
You kind of tapped him on the, hey, what about Alfredson? Yeah, he's fine. But Mats, we love Mats.
See, I didn't do the Alfie thing because
this happened. This was a thing that happened.
I was always because to me, I love Alfredson.
Yeah.
But to me, Forsberg was the epitome of Swedish hockey.
Yeah, but not to them.
Not to them. No, this is what I'm saying.
You thug.
I love Forsberg. I love Alfredsson.
Yeah.
But over there, they love the Mats Naslund
Sure.
and certainly the Mats Sundin. He is
Yeah.
he's the guy.
He ends up captaining 06. Like, they had all of those guys. Naslund is there. Forsberg is there. Alfredsson is there. Like, and they pick Mats as their captain.
That's Marcus Naslund.
Yes.
Though.
Yes, it
Not
was.
your
No,
lovely
that's right.
Mats Naslund. And you
But
know,
Nick Lidstrom also on that team. Lundqvist, like that.
Boreas
Actually, the more I
Salmino-
think about it, that 06 Swedish team is
stacked.
pretty good.
Yeah, that Lundqvist guy.
Maybe we shouldn't have taken Todd Bertuzzi to go face them.
Yeah. It seems like a Wade Redden. Yeah. You're like, what are we doing?
Brian McCabe.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
All right. So we're starting to build a case for why we didn't do so well.
It's true, man. So this is from the Whippersnapper Brewing Company over here. It is an Easter weekend showdown. This
Shut
is
up,
their
are you drinking the Easter
cream ale.
Fucking, that's what I wanted to get.
You got time, but hustle.
Yeah,
Hustle.
I was Monday was my time.
Okay.
Tuesday was my time, and then
He's giving up. He's tapping out. Yeah, this is and this is something that will persist through the series. I'm not sure we'll get to doing something before every game, but I pitched this to a couple networks, and some of them are just silly. So we'll do it here. The stress test, the level of concern through beer. So this is a nice treat. And that's how I'm viewing the Battle of Ontario right now. This is 5.5%. There's a little concern. It's slightly above 5%. But the Leafs should be the favorite. We'll delve into that. And right now, I'm just happy to see the Battle of Ontario return. And so to me, that pairs nicely with like I said, the sweet treat that is the cream
Easter cream ale.
Yes. 5.5% dark and sweet.
So and that is the same kind of approach I was taking to it.
Yeah.
The Sun Split at 6.5. It's the OG in the
Slightly higher concern.
Yeah, no, but it's to me it's the sunniness.
Yeah.
It's the
Okay.
when you pour it into a pint glass, it looks like
It looks beautiful.
it certainly does.
Yeah.
It's like a ray of sunshine coming through your pint glass. And so that is also not the alcohol level,
Right.
but the appearance, the taste, the goodness. And it makes me feel happy looking at that.
I will say to the good listener, you will be able to read my mood throughout the series based on the alcohol percentages as we go. And so right now, yeah, 5.5%, a little sweet treat, the return of something special like an Easter egg here. This will all be great.
See, and I'm a little older.
If by game 6 we're into the fucking north of 7 leatherback rum, you'll know I'm not feeling so good, and the Sens are probably in a good spot at that point.
Yeah,
So.
and I'm a little older, and it takes a little more to get me excited. All right, it doesn't just take a strong wind. We're like, yeah, exactly. We're totally fine, right? We'll see how it comes.
There's a few different ways we can start this, but let me just lay down what should be the easy case for the Leafs to maybe not just win this, but perhaps win it in like 5.
Whoa!
Division winners. And
Yep.
won like
He's out.
9 of their last 12.
12-2-1 in their last 15, I think, Toronto.
Stolar's 8-0 in his last with 3 shutouts and like a 935 save percentage in that time.
Well, does he not have the best goaltending stats in the league?
That sounded very Trumpian of you. These are magnificent stats. They're the best.
No, but honestly,
I will not cite
between
them.
his save percentage and his goals, like I think he doesn't have the number of games played.
That is often one. I don't know if he has had a very good year.
Yes.
But he has only played, and I want to be careful how I phrase this, on one day's rest, which is what the series will be, right? Sunday, Tuesday. That's what I mean by 1 day's rest.
Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday,
He has
Saturday.
only done that 5 times. They've always either put Wool in there or, they've got 2 days off. And
Whoa, Black Betty.
he's never been a starter before in the playoffs, but his numbers, as I build my case, and we will certainly poke holes in it as we go, he looks terrific. They look terrific. They are, it's funny, playoff tested. They have failed that test, but they are.
Playoff attended.
Yes. Well, they took the test wrong. The Sens have never had to face the test yet. Like, if you could look at just this matchup in a vacuum. And I think since January 1st, the Leafs have the second best record in the league, points percentage, and the Sens are 10th. So
maybe next only to Montreal.
Pretty good. Yeah, honestly, man, it could be. So if you could remove the baggage, you'd go, I don't think it's a crazy thing at all to say Leafs in 5. And yet, we do have to return the baggage. You're going to have to carry that through this.
There is a price for that, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Yeah, just about everywhere you go now, you will pay for the extra carry-on baggage.
Christ, even on Via.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I think you're packing heavier than me. I haven't had to run into that, but
it's right in my front of my pants.
Oh, look at this. It's in one side of his pants for sure.
I specified not front of my pants.
Yeah, no, you know what? It's this should be in any other world. Hey, look, good for those guys. They've arrived after everything they've been through, but there's not a lot of experience. These guys won the division. They've been here 100 times, but it doesn't look like that at all.
See, and it's interesting because my come at this was very similar, only it was I wanted you to make a case in what way you thought Ottawa was better.
Well, I can do that too.
No, and really because when you look at it and you go Toronto division winners, and then you start to roll through, all the stats, whether it's goals for, whether you have the Stolar stats.
Yep.
Although it's interesting to note that team save percentage, Ottawa ranks actually higher than
really.
Yeah. Or team goals against. Sorry.
Sure.
Which is probably less relevant in my opinion.
Yeah, it's all about what angle you want to present,
but
right?
It's so they're both though very similar. They're both in the same neighborhood, but when you look at power play and you look at not penalty kill,
no.
Toronto kind of sucks a bit, but neither one of them powerhouses.
No, on the PK, yeah.
On the PK, but you are looking at Ottawa slightly better, which should be alarming for Toronto. But Toronto's power play significantly better.
Yeah. Which has been an interesting thing. Like almost every year, it feels like in the fall.
Season.
Yeah, that's what I know how my team sucks. Let me get there. Like they, in the first half of the season, almost always have an electric power play. And then it feels like coaches figure it out and go, are you going to change? No? All right, sweet. We'll just shut you down then. And over the course of the second half of the season, it gets worse and worse and worse and just totally flames out in the playoffs. Like in this Matthews-Marner era, the Leafs power play, now not a lot of teams have as many. The Leafs now have this, 9 years in a row. It's the longest in playoffs. So the opportunities have been more plentiful for the Leafs. But like they have one of the worst power plays in that time period, if I'm making any sense. Like since, for as long as the Leafs have been in there, their power play has stunk in the playoffs. And what is interesting about that is the Sens this year have drawn more power plays than anyone else. Right. So they may get the opportunity, that bad penalty kill is going to have to work because the Sens are clearly going to find a way onto the power play. I'm encouraged. I think that the Leafs power play will be less disastrous this year.
Well, there's less opportunities in the playoffs too.
Well, this is always a bit of a thing, right?
Maybe not in the first round. Maybe not in the
first few games. They always call penalties on everybody so that they can go, look, see,
we're doing this.
Still, yeah. And games 5, 6, and 7, the whistles go away, and
it's inexplicable. But Ottawa's power play, the thing that drives it down the standings, significantly better at home than it is on the road.
Okay,
which is I'm not sure why.
The old Tim and Sid, super stat or meaningless number?
Because to me. It's
just a weird coincidence, or does this mean something?
If we're playing 4-7 in Toronto, it means something.
I just mean there's no real reason a power play should be better.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Sorry,
to me that's a meaningless stat in that regard.
Yes, it means something to me because it seems to be over 82 games a thing.
Yes. But you couldn't draw that. Here's our road power play versus our home power play.
Well, and why is it?
Yeah.
And that's the meaningless part is I don't nobody understands. You go, well, it's my power play. I still get to ring your zone. I get to pick which side. All these things, right?
Of course,
all these things are happening and they don't change at home or on the road, but yet here we are. So I agree with you. stat-wise, when you look at it and you go, I'm not sure.
If this was your first day on Earth and you saw this lined up, you'd pick the Leafs.
100%.
Yeah. And yet, here we are. There's no reason. You and I talked about this when it was, when Montreal, in theory, might have still caught Ottawa. You're not afraid of Toronto. You're not really afraid of Washington. But, there's a reasonable opportunity here that if this it's 2-2, do the Leafs start gripping their sticks a little tighter? Oh my God, can they beat themselves a little bit as part of this, right?
So to me, I want Toronto over either one of the Florida teams.
Yes.
But I take Washington over Toronto.
Before playing Toronto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because to me, Toronto presents all the problems. I think Toronto's a better team than Washington. Who cares what the stats say?
Yeah.
Or the point totals say. I just think Toronto is a better constructed team front to back, especially if Logan Thompson isn't going to be healthy.
Back, yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so
if you're about to deuce the bed, go front to back.
Yeah. So it comes down to that's how I would like to see that, right? Is Toronto is the better of the Atlantic Division.
Sure.
But I don't love to play that because Toronto it's a loaded gun, right? As I said to you on yesterday's show, high reward, high risk.
And this is it. Let's address that before getting any further into the matchups. The stories we will tell ourselves as fans, right? Which is, as I just laid out, you're good. You've been here. You're a division winner. You're deeper than them offensively. Allmark's playoff numbers aren't stellar.
Your top two lines are better offensively.
Right. And so you have all that, and yet the Sens come in riding, we've made it. We're feeling pretty good. We don't have anywhere near the baggage. Allmark, while his playoff numbers haven't been stellar, is certainly capable of stealing a series. Jake Sanderson, we saw what he could do at the top level at the Four Nations. Brady Tkachuk.
I think Jake Sanderson will be the best defenseman in this series. Is that a question?
No, I'd have a hard time arguing that. We'll see depth-wise on that blue line, but I'm with you. I think. And then, Brady Tkachuk, we all got a peek at it at the Four Nations. If that guy's healthy, can he come in and do his thing? Stutzla, there's...
Overrated or underrated the Brady Tkachuk thing? I'm asking you.
Yeah. See, it's funny. I think... And maybe I'm being needlessly picky.
Yeah.
Overrated versus underrated, or overstated versus understated. Because I expect that Brady. I expect it to be a problem. And I think we're maybe talking about something that is a foregone conclusion a lot. Does that make any sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I guess really what I want to ask is, are you expecting Four Nations Brady Tkachuk?
Yes.
Or are you expecting Game 1 Toronto Ottawa of the season?
No, I expect they will, if he's healthy, and we don't know.
He's playing.
He's going to play.
Yep.
Thursday night he I think got in the lineup.
He did.
Okay. So, but I don't expect that he gave a shit on Thursday night, nor did anybody really, other than get his legs moving and get. If he is close to healthy, he's a problem for Toronto. But you do at some point risk overhyping it,
and
right?
that's all I'm coming at,
yes.
Because this is recording. The series hasn't started.
No,
and there's this mythical beast kind of.
Well, we talked about before Demidov. He did come out and do the thing. He got a goal and an assist and lived up to the.
And in Game 2, he didn't do the thing.
Right.
Oh, it's hard, man.
It's hard. And so I expect Brady to be a major problem. But yeah, to expect him to come out of every night with 10 hits and 2 points and what, you got to be careful, right? Nobody does that.
Expectations, I think, in the local market.
Only love can break your heart.
Are getting ratcheted up to a spot where you go, at the end of the day, he's a perennial 30-goal scorer and 125 penalty minute guy. He's excellent.
Yes.
I want him. I love him on my team as my captain, but people need to recalibrate their expectations.
Yeah. I'm, as we sort of dive into this a little bit, I'm intrigued by what will almost certainly be 5, 6, 7 games of Brady versus Tanev. And Tanev is not a physical guy. Like he's, and again, I'm not trying to compare the two, but a more Lidstrom style. Great stick, great position, right? Like, and if we go back to last year, you and I raved about this on the podcast at the time. What he did against Eichel in round 1, what he did against McKinnon in round 2, then the Oilers managed to overrun them pretty good in round 3.
He was injured though.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yay for me.
Injured late in the Dallas series.
That sounds familiar now that you say that.
He was playing for Dallas.
He was in a lot of Dallas.
Late in the second round.
In the Colorado
series.
Colorado
series, he was hurt. And then, so to me, that was the huge issue with.
So if you're looking at a guy like Brady to be.
But Tanev is tough.
Yeah.
And people.
But he's also injury prone. Like, I look forward to this battle. It'll be interesting. Can he get in Brady's way enough to stop him getting directly to the net when he wants to? And yet, how many times does Tanev have to go back into the corner and Brady just blast him into the boards? Can he stand up to that for 7 games? And that's going to be a fascinating matchup for me.
Because to me, it's when you look at the Jake McCabe, you look at the Tanev,
who may or may not be healthy,
OEL, and you start to stack up these things and you go, what is, now they're all apparently, I'm not sure what OEL.
Healthy-ish.
Are going to be game 1 ready and good to go.
Yeah,
but when you have some heavy forecheck, which is a hallmark of the Ottawa game, it has to be, right? Heavy forecheck, high cycle, these sorts of things.
Yeah, Brady will do it. Perron will do it. Giroux will do it. Greg will do it.
Cousins will do it, and Cousins will do it, right? Like
there you go.
You're going to see, if it's going to be successful for Ottawa, this is going to happen. And so
it's going to have to happen, yeah.
It's going to have to happen. And so what does the health of not just Brady, but that Toronto defense, which if you look at it and you go, yeah, we're going to do McCabe and Tanev, and we're going to do Carlo and Riley, and then we're going to do Benoit and
hopefully OEL, but if not, now you're at Philippe Myers and it's getting a little thin back there.
So, and that's nice. Yeah. That is, if you can put out your top 6, I like Toronto's 6 better than Ottawa's.
Yep.
I'm very comfortable with Ottawa's top 4 if healthy and good and running. But if Toronto's D is not healthy and Ottawa is able to get in on the forecheck, because to me, when you look at the season series.
And what is healthy? Is playing healthy?
No, playing. We know. And it's like Brady with whether it's a hip or a groin, whatever his deal is.
Yeah.
We understand that playing is not that, but it's are you going to be able to sustain, withstand whatever it is that's going to come your way, and how greatly does that affect what's going to happen to that Toronto blue line?
So take me through, as you sit and think about this, like, I think it's easy for me, like I said, right off the top, to here's all the reasons Toronto should do this. What's Ottawa's path to victory, other than Toronto just self-destructing, which is on the table?
Yeah. See, Ottawa has to do what was, now their second half record, as you suggested, is
top 10 in the league.
Top 10 in the league. It doesn't feel like that. They've won a lot of games because their goaltending has been very good. Like I've sat and watched the Florida and the Tampa games live, where the goaltending totally stole it. Totally. And Ottawa came away with a comfortable win, 3-0. But
this is like 2 weeks ago.
This is very recently.
Yeah, not the bad trip to Florida.
Right. No, not pre-4 Nations.
Right. Yeah.
That was, and again, that wasn't terrible, but that's with no Kachuk, no Norris, no Pinto.
Well, and just to counter, just to make sure we get as much as we can here on the table, as people are talking about the 3-0 series win for Ottawa in the regular season.
Sorry, I was saying 3-0 over Florida.
I understand.
Okay.
I'm just, no Matthews for game 1, no Tavares and Nyes in game 2. And so,
well, see, and we talk
it matters or it doesn't matter.
We talk about health. We talk about health and where Brady's at.
Yep.
And where is the 35-goal man, Austin Matthews?
Yes.
Where's that at, right?
Well, he's got more assists than ever before in his career.
Woohoo! Yeah. I'm waving that flag. And so there is health.
Mitch just passing it to each other.
Yeah. There is health. Well, and I've spent a couple of days listening to a lot of Toronto media, and man, they are poking themselves giddy with excitement, and I love it. I love it. And it's like you guys have never learned to temper. I'm not saying not to have expectations, but to temper the giddiness and the enthusiasm. You're like, have you guys?
It is interesting, eh? Like, I know we're sort of drifting a little, but this for Toronto, it's always been even Montreal. They were the clear favorite in 21 and crashed and burned. You could make the argument.
Columbus.
You could make. See, I don't know that I agree with that. They were within 1 point of each other when the season paused. I get it, though. Toronto was supposed to be.
Well, you got PL Dubois there. That was just.
You hate when that happens.
Get out of the way.
So they in 17, they lose to Washington in 6 games. 5 of them go to overtime.
Yep, 6
it's
games,
found
super
money,
tight.
no problem. You were the clear underdog against Boston in 18. I think if I remember correctly, they were the slight favorite in 2019, but I didn't feel like that was a hugely blown opportunity. Those were 2 tightly matched teams. 21 was a clear shit the bed moment against the Habs.
Hey, there's poop in the bed.
Hated that too. 22, you were the underdog against Tampa. I thought played better than Tampa and lost. In 23, you were probably a mild favorite and won, but didn't play as well as Tampa did. And then in 24, again, tightly matched. Like, this is, aside from that Montreal series, this is maybe the first time Toronto has been like a betting favorite. Like,
Unanimous
you should
favorite.
be the favorite here. You need to get this done. And again, that even that comes off wrong. They've needed to get this done for a while, but you are clearly the better team here.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And everything else points to it.
Yes.
And so you asked me 10 minutes ago to make my own case.
Yes.
Right? And so
Right.
there is
I just assumed there wasn't one.
there is the team goaltending.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Which you kind of got to throw out the window when Stolarz has the better individual.
Yep.
There is the 10 shutouts.
Can he play 4 games in a row?
Well, this is
I
it.
was going to say Stolarz.
Right. Yeah, no, I know. And
yeah.
so you do have, and 4 of those were all Mark. And so it is goaltending, which is kind of where I went to when I was talking about how well they've finished the season.
Yes.
And it's kind of misleading that goaltending will mask certain things. Yeah, it comes down to, can we count on Ottawa's sort of naivete, new at this?
Yep. Happy to be here.
First time in, you're like, we don't know. There's not a really. We want to win. We want to win.
Yeah.
But if you don't win, you're like, you got this made excuse. And can you count on Toronto's baggage?
Like, Toronto gets up 3-1, and they just start to, this is where it gets hard. And you start climbing back and plant that seed. And
because the reality is, in April of 2025, Toronto's playoff history doesn't mean anything. It means about as much as Ottawa's 3-0 regular season does, right? The two of them really don't.
I agree with you from the outside. I wonder what happens in that locker room. Have you turned over enough with your Tanevs and your Carlos and your guys who have this experience to go, yeah, shut up. We're going to go and do this. We're going to win Game 6. That's what's supposed to happen here. Or, I don't think this is a thing, but can you beat yourself? Can you go, this is where we always fall, and...
Well, do you have enough? Because we've talked in the past. You know, you have the Tanevs and you have the Carlos, and that's all nice.
Sure.
And you have that, I don't know, first round draft pick you traded for Scott Lawton or whatever that was.
It's going good.
This team will go as far as Nylander, Marner, Tavares, Matthews, and maybe Matthew Nyes.
I was going to say Riley, but yes, I'm with you.
Takes you.
Can Riley elevate back to... This is the same story it's always been.
So that is the one difference is the carryover is in the key factor, which is your core will take you as far.
When you compare those guys, like if Austin Matthews is going to play for 7 games against Tim Stützle, Matthews, he's the best player in the series. Find a way, man. Figure it out. Marner has been fantastic in the second half of this year. Like, he has played as well as I've ever seen him. Can I count on that? Or are we about to do the thing that we always seem to say? Matthew Nyes has established himself. He is not Brady Tkachuk, but can he be Tkachuk light enough to be in doing that sort of thing along the boards and creating some space? Right.
Yes.
When you look at that, right, when you look at those big four, anyone who hasn't, like I said, seen 9 years of playoff hit, will take Toronto's top 4 guys against Ottawa's top 4 guys all day. And yet, we sit here right now with no idea if that's about to be what plays out here. Right? Like
because I personally like Ottawa's third line.
Yeah.
Better. The Pinto Greg Amadio.
Yep.
And if you have a fourth line of, you're looking at, I'm gapping right
for
now.
Toronto?
No, Ottawa.
Oh.
Of Gaudette, Zetterlund, and Nick Cousins.
Yeah.
To me, I am
That
quite.
guy's got some history with Toronto.
I am fine with that as a fourth line. Like Zetterlund's a 20 goal scorer on your fourth line.
And I think when all this talk about the Toronto third line is going to become almost moot, and perhaps not for a good reason, but they're going to use Kampf, Lorentz, and whatever.
Bobby McMahon?
No, he'll be a little higher. But like instead of using that Domi, Robertson, maybe McMahon or whatever that looks like, third line, which is risky as shit. Like Toronto's always needed to find some more scoring and never seems to be able to do it. So they need some offense on. They will end up using that Kampf Lorentz line more. That will be your de facto third line, right? They will take every defensive zone face-off, and that's just going to have to be how this plays out. I keep hearing talk about Pacioretty's been ready. I didn't love what that guy was doing earlier in the season anyway. I know he's a veteran. He's
let alone coming off of
right. He hasn't played since March 8th or something. Like I
what
guess.
Could go wrong, Matt?
Yeah, I don't know, man. So I love Toronto's top end over Ottawa's top end. I'm not really afraid of Ottawa's bottom 6, but I'm pretty afraid of my bottom 6. Right? Like
to me,
Toronto's bottom 6.
It's for Ottawa. It's going to be what that Pinto Greg Amadio line does.
Pinto is better than anything Toronto has in the bottom 6.
And so to me, and I would throw
so is Greg probably.
I was going to say I would throw Greg in that. Yeah. And to me, Greg has that greasy playoff kind of.
Yep.
He's got to prove it.
Yep.
He's got to do it. But there's nothing I've seen through World Juniors and into the empty net slapper and all those things that isn't
that he's about to crumble. Or
that he's not going to say, "Hey man,
fuck those guys.
I love this."
Yeah.
Right? And
bring it on, Morgan.
And so all those things, right? And so if you can have now, to me, Gaudette, it's a bit of an offensive black hole, despite having 18 goals.
Only now, yeah.
But
had a great month and a half.
Well, the first 2 months was outstanding.
Honestly, yeah.
The second 4 months, what are we going to do there?
Yeah.
But he's the guy who takes the draws, right?
Yes.
Highmore can't, and so you are stuck. But if you
Cousins kind of little.
Yeah, but a little. But
he's played center.
But do you want to have an icing call where you have Austin Matthews out against Nick Cousins or Highmore, and you're like, no, we don't.
Yeah.
Because that's going to end up in the back of our net. And so that is why you keep Gaudette in, because he is the only, and he's about 50%, right? So as a fourth line guy, so I do like the bottom end of Ottawa better, the depth.
Yes.
The depth scoring and the ability to bring speed, to forecheck. That is where I do like it. So it's going to come down to health and goaltending. And what do we see in terms of the Ullmark Stolars head-to-head?
And the other last thing I'll throw down here is the conversation that still persists about Nick Robertson. Are you going to play him or not? Small guy, gets pushed off the puck and takes a lot of irresponsible penalties. He is your 7th highest scoring forward. If you are worried about depth scoring, which has been the thing for a long time for Toronto, that beyond those guys, and that when your top guys don't show up, all of a sudden it matters a lot, your secondary scoring. Will they have the balls, one way or not, to play him or to take him out? Like, are we going to lean on a Pontus Holmberg? Are we going to go back to... That's going to be an interesting discussion.
You're hoping for your Max Domi, right? Are you not hoping for more than him just to get in the odd fight now? Like he's a tough guy and we're just going to do this? Or
I do wonder on the Brady Tkachuk thing, both him and Max Domi, is the pressure... It's different. On Brady Tkachuk, is he feeling like I got to run around, I got to... whatever. Hopefully not for the Sens. I do wonder in this Battle of Ontario, Max Domi has had a brutal year. He's not scoring. He's not putting up points. He has been okay in the playoffs offensively. He's brutal. Does he feel like Dad would have gone and punched Chris Neal right in the face here, right? So I'm going to do that to Highmore and sit in the box for 5 minutes. I do wonder on that front a little bit too. So
there is some restraint is going to happen here.
Yeah. Last thing.
Results. I can show them if you ask
What
again.
are you doing now? I don't need this.
Yeah, nobody asked you anything.
Last thing, then, and look, there's shit happening outside the door, as you've all been able to hear over these last 2 episodes. I don't know what the next couple weeks are going to look like, so let's, for right now, throw it down, make a prediction, man.
Leafs in 6.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say, too, so to be somewhat different, I'll go Leafs in 5, but...
I think, and we've talked about this a bunch, certainly talked about it, that you have this Leaf team. How long can you continue to count on the ghost of Christmas past? Right? Like, how long can that be the reason
Yep.
that you throw down? Now, the flip side of that very same coin is doing the same thing and hoping for different results is the definition of insanity.
See, the headlines I'm seeing in Toronto leading up to this is they were rebuilt to do this. I'm like, how rebuilt were they? Yeah, we aged and sized up the D a little, but it's the same guys. If they don't score, this doesn't matter. It's the same story. So for me, I will say Toronto in 5 or 6 as well.
Yep.
But I am certainly used to being irritated. And it's funny, eh? I was going to say irritated. More like a fall on my face kind of
He's hearing
thing.
the skate sharpener in the back.
There's a lot of things irritating me
channeling
today.
Matt's irritation
I'm
right
just,
now.
Yeah, trying to cruise this thing to a finish line. I look at it and I do wonder, is the path like, all you won the division, you did it. Just go beat Ottawa.
This is what you needed to do.
And then in
Everyone's
theory,
been
Florida's
talking about it.
floundering.
Injury.
Beat Tampa in the next round. And then
and Tampa-
who's is it Carolina or Washington in the conference? Like the
Carolina.
path is there though. Like it feels like this year you need to go do this. If you're ever going to do it.
Yeah, I think for me, and it's got nothing to do with Ottawa per se, but Ottawa does bring pressure.
It does.
Because you are expected to win this series.
Outside the numbers.
Yep.
And yeah, you're right. There's the divisional thing, the geographic thing, the Toronto long-term thing.
So you've done all that you can do. You know, the lament was, well, we don't win the division, and we end up getting, in this murky sort of 2-3 match against...
Yeah, in a tough division.
Against a gorilla.
Yep.
And so we've gone out...
You're supposed to be the gorilla. At this point, you do it.
I know, but when you are fragile, you can't be the fragile gorilla. And so
unused boxing nickname.
Yes, exactly right. It's still out there though.
Somebody grab it.
And not a band I want to see either, right? It's very goth, emo kind of.
Yeah.
But you need this.
Yes.
And so if Toronto can beat Ottawa, I think Tampa, because of the way Florida is entering, limping, sort of injuries.
Ekblad in game 2. What is Matthew Tkachuk?
How healthy is he?
Yes.
All those things. You've been resting guys, and can you count on good goalie Bob?
Yes.
And so there's just a bunch of question marks there, and just the way Tampa, because fights, styles make fights.
Yep.
Tampa's
the fragile gorilla.
Tampa is a good match for Toronto, and so if that's how it works out, that is a best case scenario.
The path is out there, but first you're going to have to go and beat the team right in front of you right now, and that will be a team that is fired up. Fired.
That's a fire alarm ready to go.
It's been that kind of day, everybody. We have powered through to provide you with something here. You'll decide the value of it, but
we love you.
Yes.
And
for now,
we do this for you.
My social media mentions are going to be rough here for the next couple of weeks.
I love you. How about that?
I appreciate that, man.
No, not you.
Oh,
the listener.
Oh,
what the hell are we doing here? This is the first show we've done in 10 years.
I felt really warm. For
I
a
don't
second.
love you.
It's probably that fire alarm.
Exactly. It's the heat from the fire that's licking my hiney.
The old. What's the expression? We've lit a fire under your ass. You lit my ass on fire. Exactly. It's different.
There's two totally different things there.
It's going to be fun.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
I am too, man. leading up to it, I wasn't sure how much I'd care.
You care.
I will. I will care. But I expected to dread the whole thing. I'm looking forward to it. And whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I've seen some losses. I've seen very few wins.
I've seen a lot of losses.
But we're going to do this thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. And stay tuned, because this may be the last 5.5% pint of the series. I may just be one of those people whose heart rate runs a little warmer.
Well, the stiff wind. You're a little younger. It's just Matt it takes less for Matt to get excited. But this will be interesting, because in that division winning, I think Toronto was always better starting on the road.
Yeah, well, you've said that a few times going into the playoffs.
Right.
You thought that was
because Ottawa rolls in there and wins. Heaven forbid Ottawa wins game 1.
Yeah.
But comes home with a split. Man, Ottawa is fired up with that.
This coming back into this building for the Leafs won't be like going into Boston, right? You'll have a little love. You'll have a little.
You'll have less
support.
love, though. You'll have less love.
Yeah, but more than in Boston.
But I am also interested to see what that looks like in Game 3.
Yep.
And I'm sure we'll talk.
We will.
Before
We'll find
then.
a way. We'll figure this out.
We
don't know exactly how this is all going to play out, but we will figure it out between now and then. So, I should say, though, on Easter Monday, if that's a thing for you, you'll be hearing from Chris Hoffley. And
personally, is he phoning me?
not you, Rob.
Oh, see, now it's like you love me loving you.
Easy.
I thought Hoff was phoning me.
Yeah, you'll hear from Hoffley. No, I'm on the road, and so rather than record with him on Sunday afternoon, right before the game, which seemed ill-advised, didn't make a whole lot of sense, he'll be on early on Monday, and by then we'll know what the rest of the week's schedule is going to look like.
How early on Monday? How early are you recording?
I don't know. Early afternoon, and we will drop it right away rather than make people wait till Tuesday.
Because again, Hoff loves the high ABVs.
Yes. Hoff
doesn't mind dropping a swear or two.
No, he does not.
So he's really a man after my own heart.
Yeah. You'll barely even miss Rob.
That's it.
I know I won't.
Yeah.
At least during this. Hoff might be worse. Hoff's not objective. He is just...
He's out there swinging.
Yeah, but Toronto sucks.
Yeah. All right.
How often has that been the wrong thing?
Yeah, and I love that. I love that about Hoff.
We'll wrap it up here. This is going to be a fun series. You will be hearing from us throughout it. And so make sure you're subscribed to the pod wherever you're hearing us right now. For Rob, my name is Matt. Have yourselves a fantastic Easter, and we will talk to you, I don't know, sometime Monday.
See ya!
That's it. I cannot work under these conditions. If anybody wants me, I'll be downstairs at McDougal. Call the weekend guy. I don't care.